What is up, everybody? It's 8 p.m. Mountain Time, and that means it's time for another episode of Home Theater Fanatics Live. Tonight's episode 110, and 110 is a special number because tonight I've got the Fun Wasted Time crew with me, and they are special gentlemen. If you guys didn't know, now you know, because these guys are the people to know because they know everything that there is to know about movies and other popular culture that I am trying to keep up with and cannot. And that's why the podcast here tonight, because they can represent and help you understand what's going on in 2021 for the movies and content that you need to consume. All right. With all that being said, tonight's show is about the movies that are going to be dropping in 2021 and the ones that have already dropped. We're going to talk about that for about an hour. But to get this thing rolling, let's do a little bit of introduction because this is quite the crew. And I want to start out with the man, the myth, the legend, Taurus. This guy is, I don't know how you want to say it, the owner, the operator, the master commander of the Fun Wasted Time podcast, and has the best voice and will make all of us shamed of ourselves here in just about 1 second, because man, it's your turn to talk. Taurus, welcome to the show.
I got to tell you, if
I'm ruined already.
You are one of the best hype men I think I've ever run across, Sean.
Right?
I tell you, making me sound good.
No, you make yourself sound good. I just hang on to those coattails, man. It's like I'm just flying. It's like Harry Potter. He's on that little broom and flying, and I'm like hanging on the back, like, come on, let me stay with you.
Hey, did you guys hear him say that we're number 110? So not only are we one, but we're all the way up to 10 now.
Hey, you got two ones, a 10, two tens if you take the one and the zero and the other one and the zero. If you multiply that, that's 100.
That is awesome. Well, Jiles, thank you so much for having me on the show. And as you can see, I brought some friends.
Heck yeah.
Got the whole Fun Waste of Time crew with us today, and we're just going to have a great time talking movies and whatever else you want to discuss. This is our wheelhouse. We love talking about movies and entertainment media. So
I love it. Let's talk to everybody else here. And I think I'll just go around the screen to make it easy. And we're going to start out with the man, the myth, the legend, Jason in the top center, who has all his hair. We got two people with no hair and two people with hair. I feel a little outnumbered, but that's okay. Jason, what's up, man? How you doing?
Jiles, good to be here, brother. I do have a little bit of hair, but trust me, man, I go through a lot of trouble to make this look thicker than it really is. Just it's
trying, but that don't work. I'm thick. Let me comb it. Come on.
Right.
Ease it out a little bit.
It's good to be here, man. This is actually the not only is this my first live broadcast, but it's the first time I've ever been on video while recording with these guys. Yeah, man, I'm nervous. Trust me, man.
Man, I mean, you guys are some good-looking dudes. I'm surprised you're not doing video all the time.
Oh, well, I'd argue if I could, but yeah.
I don't know. I saw you on that OnlyFans site. I don't know what they do over there, but I saw that picture. I'm like, that's the guy. Anyway, welcome to the show, Jason. And with that, brother, we're going to move over to the other privileged J of the show. We got Jiles, Jason, and James. Welcome, James.
Thanks for having us, Jiles. I just want to say, as we were like waiting to start, that intro music, man, it's top notch, brother. It was thumping. I was hyped. I was ready to go. Taurus, take a note on that one.
I got it.
I think you're riding this tape a little bit on that.
Did you see the moves?
I don't know if you saw me in the chat. You know, it was nice. It was good stuff. It's tough to be
Jiles is a hype man for real. He comes
it's tough to be sandwiched between Johnny Bravo and that great looking guy, Anthony. But thanks for having me, John.
Oh, and speaking of a good looking man, we'll talk about. No, I was going to say we talk
back to Jason.
Back to Jason. Anthony, what's going on?
What's going on, Jiles?
Welcome to the show, dude.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. You know, if Taurus is the Nick Fury of our group, that would probably make me the Scott Lang, the smallest one here. So,
you know, we gotta figure out by the end of this episode which Avenger we all are. It sounds like Taurus is Nick Fury, so that's been figured out. But we gotta, we're gonna have to figure out who everybody else is.
But Jiles, you know why he's Nick Fury, right?
Why is that? Well, he's got both his eyes, so that can't be it.
Well, no, he's the shadiest of us all.
Oh, snap.
If he wants to say that I am the overseer and I put together the team, the Avengers, right. I am all for that.
He's the boss. Duh, boss. And anyway, I think with that, we're going to go ahead and jump straight in to the content of the show today. Now, usually on the episode, I have things set up so that there's a section called Content Corner. And Content Corner is where I discuss, the content of the week. But this episode is going to be a whole content corner because we're only talking content. We don't have like an industry guest in to talk about a speaker or an amplifier or a subwoofer or something like that. We're talking about the stuff that we watch on all this gear. And usually I have some music for this. And, I dance, I do my little intro and all that kind of stuff. But I think we're going to forego that for today. And instead, I'm going to give Tara something that I know he loves. Do you know what it is?
Oh, please help me, Jiles.
I just have to introduce the one, the only, the rap superstar battle master of the universe. Oh, crap. What did I do? Oh, the rap star master.
There it is. Hey, but I can top that. Jiles. So, see, guys, when Jiles first came on The Fun Waste of Time, I remember watching his show and seeing him do that. And I told him I was going to put together something for you, the Fun Waste of Time way. So what we have for Jiles is his Fun Waste of Time, Jiles J-Zilla McCoy intro.
Here we go.
There it is.
Oh, all right. And I think that is a good segue into Godzilla versus Kong. I hope that you guys have seen it by now. I think men of your stature in this particular area of expertise probably have. And if you haven't, just keep your mouth shut. But I'm curious to think what everybody thought about the movie. And Jason, maybe we'll start with you because you're right in the middle.
I'll tell you, man, I loved it. I did not like the last, was it Godzilla King of the Monsters? I was not a big fan of that. Too many humans. We've talked about this before. I'm not a big human fan. I am a big Godzilla fan. That being said, I think Godzilla versus Kong was a little too much Kong for me. I'm sure Taurus would disagree because he's a Kong fan. I'm a Gojira fan. So it seemed to be very much a Kong movie. But it didn't disappoint. I mean, if you're going in looking, for Citizen Kane, you're not going to like it. But if you want to go in and see big monsters beating the hell out of each other, I have a feeling you won't be disappointed with that.
That's cool. And you know what? I'm just going to put this out there for everybody. This is not a spoiler-free episode. If you don't want to be spoiled, you best go somewhere else for any of the movies that already put out, right? Anything we talk about, just recognize that you're going to be ruined if you listen to us, because I don't want to hold this stuff back, because there are some aspects about this movie that I'm interested in talking about, or at least I want to call out that I was surprised about. But James, what did you think?
I really enjoyed the movie. I definitely agree with Jason, though. It was very Kong-centric. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was maybe because the CGI restrictions on a giant lizard. Kong's obviously shaped more like a man. So I thought, when he popped his shoulder back into the socket, I was like, damn, that looks really good. And there were just certain parts where I was like, this is great. And then I'm like, well, Godzilla just stepped on his chest. You know what I mean? So it was I feel like maybe the limitations of him being a giant lizard kind of dulled that. And I feel like when he was breathing the blue stuff, it still felt like it was leaning towards King Kong, with the fight scenes with the axe. I was like, dang, it was definitely a Kong movie. It probably should have been Kong versus Godzilla instead of Godzilla versus Kong. All we got was the victory as Godzilla fans.
I totally agree. Anthony, anything from your point of view?
So, Jason said he doesn't like a lot of humans, and you can tell they kind of pared that down a little bit in this movie. My only issue with the humans was I didn't like the ones they showed. We followed a podcaster. No offense, guys.
Everybody's a hater.
I feel attacked, man.
I just mean that you had Kyle Chandler from the last movie who could have done a lot of the investigation, but instead you had a brand new character who's I thought his jokes didn't land, and Millie Bobby Brown, who was just kind of stale. So I love the movie overall though, but that was the one takeaway if I had to take away a negative, was I didn't really like the characters they introduced. They should have just stuck with the guys from the last movie, let Kyle Chandler go in there, investigate, and but overall the action was awesome. And I just want to point out that Taurus was wrong in his prediction.
Okay. So with that, I think that's a good segue straight to you, Taurus. What was your prediction and how wrong were you?
I got to say, this movie was just fantastic for me from beginning to end. And I fully understand what everybody is saying about the human story beats. Typically, when you're watching a kaiju movie, you're watching it for the kaiju. You're watching it for the monsters. Mm-hmm. You want to see them fight. But the one thing that they actually did is, as Anthony stated, they pared down the human story beats in this one, and they gave us a lot of Kong versus Godzilla. Now, I will say that this movie did come across as being more Kong 2 than, say, Godzilla 3. But I actually like that element because we got the opportunity to see that Kong is still an adolescent. Kong didn't win that fight because he's not King Kong just yet, as James just said he was. He's actually just Kong. And Kong Skull Island, he was basically a child. He wasn't even anywhere near where his height would have been years down the line like he was in Godzilla versus Kong. In Godzilla versus Kong, he's an adolescent. So Godzilla's been around for centuries fighting all kinds of big monsters. Kong has been on Skull Island fighting just those monsters on that island. So he doesn't have the experience fighting that Godzilla does. But I really do like the fact that they gave Kong more human elements so that we could relate to him just a little bit more. But if you think back to any of the previous kaiju movies, the human story beats aren't typically why we're watching the movie. Typically, it's because, as I stated, it's to see those monsters fight. So the human beats and the human elements, even in the 50s, 60s, and 70s Godzilla movies, really weren't all that great. People were just watching to see two monsters go at it with one another or more. But what we usually do, Jiles, on the Fun Waste of Time after we finish watching a movie, we typically like to give the movies that we watch a grade.
Oh, okay. Right.
And if I had to give this movie a grade, it would be an A+++++. Oh. James once gave the Snyder Cut. It gets all of those plus.
We'll get to the Snyder Cut here in just a minute. That one has to be discussed. Now, I had to take this from a point of view of the home theater guy, right? So I streamed this thing on HBO Max, and it was horrible. I mean, the stream was really? Not the movie, but the sound was just not good. I mean, the center channel vocals were mixed way too low. I just don't know. I was super unhappy. What I'm looking forward to is when this thing comes out on Kaleidoscape, it's going to be mine, because as far as an action movie goes, I don't know if I give it an A+++++, but I give it a good solid A, right? And I like the actors and actresses they had in the movie. I agree with Anthony. The humor kind of bombed way harder than it ought to have. But man, whenever I can see Godzilla just whoop up on Kong and just beat his butt, you saw Kong's face when he got beat up, right? He's all like, dang, don't look at me. Nobody look. It happened. No. Right? Am I right?
He had to be resuscitated. Yeah. We will say that.
Eric from True Blood resuscitated him. Yeah. That's bad when you got to be resuscitated by a vampire.
So Eric, Taurus, what's a bad whooping? When Taurus is trying to make up backstory about why he got beat.
Played it away.
Nowhere in there was that ever. He just pulled out little things and was like, he missed the whole part where, like James said, where he had to be shocked back to life with paddles and whatnot. But but hey, whatever. Maybe when he's grown.
Hey, listen, if
It's
you
not like he didn't grow during the movie.
all of the Godzilla kaiju movies, then you know that Kong is still an adolescent. They stated it in his first Kong Skull Island movie. So he's not the king that he will eventually be in Hollow Earth once they do his next few movies. He's going to get that.
Godzilla lets him live.
Right?
Godzilla done killed him one time. Godzilla's all like, "What's up, y'all? My little short arms just killed him. He did."
Hey, I heard the next Kong movie is going to be a crossover between that and Grey's Anatomy, and Meredith Grey is going to come in and shock him back, and McSteamy's going to do surgery on him and everything like that.
Wild Kong's in junior high.
House for the drugs. You good? You'll be all right.
One thing I do want to say before we move on from this is we actually did our most anticipated movies of 2021 back in January. And we all had certain movies as our number one most anticipated movie for this upcoming year. And Godzilla vs. Kong was my number one most anticipated movie of this year. And I got to say, I do not think it disappointed. I was very happy with what I walked away with. Now, I will comment on what you stated, Jiles, about the audio not being the greatest. Typically what I do with these streams, because I have a Kaleidoscape as well. You know, I have a home theater and
I know.
Fairly decent home theater.
Everybody knows Taurus.
I am a home theater enthusiast. But what I am going to do with this movie, I watched it once on HBO Max. I'm happy with that. After that, I'm going to wait until the Kaleidoscape stream and watch it there when we can get the highest bit rate for the film. Because you're right, the dialogue was super low. What I actually had to do is I had to turn up the dialogue enhancer in my Denon receiver all the way up to high in order to make sure that I could hear the dialogue that was coming out of the center channel.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was okay.
Now, when so it's kind of reminiscent of with the time travel movie from earlier in the year that either you loved it or hated it. They go forward in time, then they come back in time, and then they blow up everything at the end.
Tenet.
Well, this is it's like a game. There's a movie, and the people can go through a machine that makes them go backwards in time. No,
Tenet.
Tenet.
Is that it?
Yeah, Tenet. So now that wasn't an HBO Max issue, but Tenet's vocals. I mean, that center channel mix, it's like non-existent, and the bass is like 3,000 decibels up on that thing. I mean, that was a hard movie to watch without going and changing all my settings. I love the movie. I thought it was outstanding, but just the sound on it was just crazy, ridiculous, bonkers. I don't know. That's just a comment on sound. Let's just do a quick vote. Just throw up your fingers 1 to 5 where you think Kong's at in the movie-osphere of ratings. I'll start. Bam, 4. I give it 4 out of 5. Yeah, 1.
Wait a minute, you're talking about Kong or the actual movie?
No, the movie.
Oh,
okay.
The movie.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I give it 5.
If it's Kong, I give him.
I thought you were talking about just about Kong, so I had to hold the one up for Taurus.
Right on.
I'm going to hold that one up for you, James.
Oh,
there we go.
There it is.
I'm only at 4 because there were humans in it.
This is a family show, so I couldn't hold up the one I wanted to hold up.
And the only other thing to call out, and this is the one thing that no one ever talks about, is Mechazilla, or however you say it. Mechagodzilla. Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal. It's like nobody talks about it. I tried to distance myself from anything before the movie came out. I didn't want to know. I just wanted to see the movie. And when they pulled that out, I was all like, damn, like, that's all right. They used the dead ones and then used the brain or the skull or whatever and control the thing. You get inside of it. Spoilers. But I thought that was pretty cool. But man, that thing whooped up on everybody. I mean, one-on-one.
Well, Mechagodzilla was awesome until big dude from X-Men from Deadpool's poured the juice on the computer. And I was like, really?
That's all it took?
That's all it took? It was like, even Mecha was like, I was like, come on.
That was a big waste of CGI dollars right there to have a soda dumped on the keyboard and you just threw away a $50,000 CGI monster.
That is pretty funny. And talk about things that are funny and messed up. Let's get back into some Snyderverse action here. Justice League. I mean, I heard somebody on here just loves it. I mean, is that true? We got a lover in here that's just all about it.
We got two of us.
Got two.
Yeah, there's two lovers.
Right on. Well, I'll get in there with you. I thought the movie was just freaking outstanding. It was really good. I mean, I think the aspect ratio was stupid.
I liked it.
No,
I liked it.
Bad.
I felt like I was watching it on a television like from 1943 or so. I don't know.
What's wrong with that? Come on.
It's all square.
You don't see Jason's 1943 TV in the back?
Yeah, you see what I got back there?
When you have a screen as large as Jiles has in his house, and you have all of this black space outside of the movie, I mean, it can really mess with you a little bit. I mean, I can tell that Jiles was a little affected by that.
I was hurt at a deep and intimate level. I mean, it's like when you got a girlfriend that you're in love with, and then she comes back and she stabs you in the heart, and she's like, no, I'm going to go with this other dude. That's what it felt like. I'm like, no, come back to the 1:35:1 aspect ratio, scope screen, baby. This is where you want to be. No, 4:3. This is what we're doing now. It's better. I'm like, no, but you're leaving pieces off. She's like, this is all I need. So yeah, I was a little heartbroken, I have to say. I don't know, but I other than that, I thought the movie was on a different level compared to the original cut. I mean, just every bit of it. I mean, it was 4 hours long, so we took like 6 pee breaks. I got 2 little kids, 12 and 9, and they're like, Dad, we got to stop it one more time. I'm like, all right, let's go. But other than that, I mean, they I'm really bad with all the names. What is it? Quicksilver? Not Quicksilver. The Flash. See,
Flash.
I'm mixing up universes here. They turned the Flash into like a real character.
Right. Yeah.
Because before he's just like this comic relief, just make fun of him. But now it's all like, I'm traveling through time to save everybody, and this is awesome, right? And that was cool. And I don't know. I thought it was so much better. So we know that Anthony and Jason love it, but James and Taurus, you guys don't. What's up?
It's actually me who loves it.
Okay, you love it.
Yeah.
Jason doesn't.
One of the other J's. Yeah.
I mix you guys one of the J's. Interchangeable. No, but what did you not like about it? I'm calling you out. I'm putting you on the spot, man. Come on, there's no editing in this.
Oh, you talking to me?
I'm talking. Either just jump in, man.
Okay. Whoever I actually liked the movie. I gave this movie an A as well. I mean, I really did like it. It wasn't my number 1 movie. It actually was pretty low down on my list, probably somewhere around 8, I believe.
Okay.
But it really surprised me. It surprised me by how much additional footage there was in his cut as opposed to the theatrical cut.
So much.
It was a completely different movie in a lot of ways. One thing that Anthony points out is he's not a big fan of the music that Zack Snyder chose for most of the movie.
Yeah.
I actually can see where he gets that, because there were certain points where I thought it was a little awkward. Like when Aquaman was at the port in that village and they started singing this folk song.
The women?
Oh man, that was
a little strange.
I loved it.
That's from Frozen. You didn't know that? That's from Frozen.
I did not. They're like,
makes it even worse, man.
Let it go.
Hey, let me just warn you guys. Do not get on Frozen with James, because he's going to take it someplace dark. Okay.
Listen, we'll save that for another time. But my theory is right.
Yes.
You know what we should do? We should do like the fun wasted time dub for the movie, and just like put all the Frozen music in, and just fix it, right? Fix it.
That's right.
That's cool. Right on. Let's take a few comments that we got from the gallery today and say hi to a few people. So Mad Piranha is in the house. What is up, Mad Piranha? Glad to see you here with us tonight. Double A, the man, the myth, the legend, the only man that is capable of holding 2 A's in his name side by side with a single space in between them. He is in the house, and I'm glad to have him. He's always here.
Doesn't Aaron do the same thing?
I don't know who that is. He does. If he's not here, he doesn't matter. Just saying. We got Herman straight up from the other side of the world calling in from China. He's always here with us, and it's got to be like early in the morning from him. So
what's up, Herman?
Herman is in the process of building his home theater, and it is exciting to hear the story as this thing goes along, because he is killing it. I mean, he is just, man, I'm going to take a trip to see this thing one day because it seems like it's going to be awesome.
Hey, Herman, make sure you get a lot of pictures out there for us to see. We're all interested in seeing it.
That's right.
For sure, definitely share away.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Then, a few things that we'll get to in a few minutes. Talk about Black Widow. We will talk about Black Widow because, yes, that's just yes. Talk about Mortal Kombat. Yes, we will talk about that. Mad Prana agrees that HBO Max sucks right now. Sorry, HBO Max. I still love you. I love you. And Zack Snyder's the driving creative force behind the
True that, brother.
DCEU. Everybody agree?
Amen, brother. Yes, sir.
He's made the single greatest comic book movie, which was Man of Steel. So, of course.
What?
I'll let him believe that. We'll let him believe that.
I don't, yeah. Good. I mean,
Man, it still is in my top 5, but greatest. Okay.
Well,
man.
Tars, you just said that Justice League was number 8 and it still got an A. So I think your grading curve is just
Well,
out of
remember,
whack. A plus 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 plus.
that was before we got the opportunity to see the movie. So once we actually saw the movie, I was able to readjust my score based on that. So,
Taurus, I don't think you've given anything less than an A to any movie.
No, yeah, that's the thing.
Well, here's
Taurus
the
is
thing.
known as being the positive guy on the podcast.
That's not
so-
true. There's one movie that I like a lot that he always gives an F to, and I don't want him to talk about it. So let's
Yeah.
He does.
You didn't even brought it up.
No.
Come on, I want to hear it.
We're talking about Triple X again.
No, we're talking about Tomorrowland.
Oh, okay.
I actually love
Tomorrowland.
Just making sure.
Tomorrowland
Tomorrowland. Why?
because it takes me back to the 70s Disney movies of like Escape from Witch Mountain and all that. And it has a really positive vibe to it. But Taurus, man, he just beats me up for the 6 to 8 years we've known each other. That's the one he will not just let go of.
the one thing that I do want to say about me being positive, I like to give out positive energy. That's just kind of the way that I roll. I like to, when we have such fantastic hobbies as we do, and we're able to enjoy some of the fantastic things that we're experiencing right now, I think those should be celebrated.
Yeah.
Because for somebody that's a comic book lover and a fan of really good action, we've never lived in a time where the things that, for instance, some of these comic book characters can do, they can actually do right in the movie world now because technology's caught up to that. So I'd like to celebrate when these movies come out, even though the story might not be as great as we'd like it to be. The fact that we're getting more of it. And as the years go on, they get better and better. I think that should be celebrated. That's kind of just how I roll. Now,
Right.
Anthony and James are typically the more critical of the crew when it comes to a lot of the
Absolutely.
things that we talk about and
I hear you.
we are entertained by. And that's okay because it creates wonderful conversations surrounding some of the things that we decide to talk about on the show. But I like to keep the energy high because somebody needs to put a smile on these guys' faces.
Well, speaking of best superhero movie ever, I've only got 2 words for you. Superman 2.
Yeah. The Donner cut.
The Donner cut and Zod. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
General
No.
Zod, Ursa Non, those 3. Dang. That was
Loved it.
Oh, I mean, I was a little kid and all, but still, I'm all like,
Same here, but
Christopher Reeves,
to this
oh.
day, I still watch that, man. I actually, it's funny because the when I bought my house, the guy that owned the house prior to me was a huge Superman fan, a huge Richard Donner fan,
Mhm.
and he left a lot of his because he was moving into a smaller place. He was retiring. He left a lot of his Superman memorabilia in the house.
No.
He said, serious posters and stuff like that. And he said,
Oh, man.
hey, if you want it, take it. One of those was a DVD of the Donner cut, and
Wow.
I had never seen it before. And he left that in the house, and maybe a couple months after moving in here, I decided to just throw it into the Blu-ray player, and I was like, man,
That's the one.
this is the cut. So since we're talking about cuts, the Snyder cut, the Donner cut.
And it's so funny. I bet Jason, when he found out that the guy was going to leave him all of this Superman memorabilia, he was disappointed because it wasn't Power Girl.
Oh, of course.
No.
Of
Jason
course.
is a fanatical Power Girl fan.
I had him pegged as like a pink Power Ranger kind of fan myself.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I like her too, but
As long as you don't say Brawnies.
bro, no.
If you guys are like, what's a brawny? Don't Google it.
No.
Don't Google it. All right, Kevin S is up in the house. Kevin is in Southern
up, Kev?
California, and he is one of the runners of a big old subwoofer company, GSG Audio. So welcome, Kevin.
Awesome.
Glad to have you in the house. He is a frequent flyer here with us, and I always appreciate it when he gets on. When he gets on, and I think we'll close out the Snyder Cut with this comment: best 70 million HBO spent. Probably from an investment point of view, absolutely, because I think they're making their money back without any problem on that one. But we took a little trip there back in time a little bit. We went all the way back to what, 84 or something
like that.
Yeah, I don't know,
2-ish.
Yeah, it was back there pretty far. But I do want to talk about this year as we look forward to movies that are coming. And there's a lot of stuff out there to talk about. And we've only got about a half hour left. So maybe we can just do a round table and everybody can call out their favorite or most anticipated movie that's going to be coming up. And we can chat about that a little bit. And I hope nobody calls out mine because I know exactly what mine is, but I'm going to go last. And this time let's start with Taurus. Let's go around the other way. What are you looking forward to? What's got you all hot and bothered?
Absolutely. Well, like I said earlier, Godzilla vs. Kong was my #1 most anticipated movie of this year.
Yep.
But after that, I got to say, I'm a big Marvel fan. I think Kevin Feige is just killing it when it comes to what he's doing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how he's giving the characters so much dimension. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay.
The next most anticipated movie that I'm looking forward to. And it's going to be coming out September the 3rd. So we don't have a whole lot of time to wait. But in between that time, there's going to be a lot of great other movies that are going to be dropping. So it's going to be a pretty busy and fun spring and summer.
That's probably the Marvel movie that I've heard the least about. Honestly, I know very little about that one. I assume that it's about Shang-Chi.
That's actually
makes sense.
I don't know if you've ever watched Kim's Convenience. It's a Canadian comedy.
Never even heard of it.
Actually, a really fun show. There are 4 seasons up on Netflix, and I watched all 4 seasons. I watched the first couple of episodes just to see how I felt about it, and I couldn't stop watching it after that. I actually binged the whole 4 seasons after watching those first few. But he is one of the leads in that show, and he does a really good job in that show.
Okay.
And I think that I watched an interview with him, and he mentioned that he was a gymnast, and that's one of the things that I think they wanted to make sure Shang-Chi had as a characteristic.
That makes sense.
And agile and that kind of thing. So I think he's going to do a great job. And the talk is that he is going to be the son of the Mandarin.
Why would you say that? Why would you just drop that?
That's the word on the streets, man.
Why would you drop that?
That's actually what they're telling you. It's not necessarily a spoiler, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be a fun movie. Like I said, I trust in Kevin Feige. And let's see what he does.
Now, is he going to be the son of the Mandarin, or is he going to be the son of the man that played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, or whichever one it was?
That might be the conspiracy, Giles. That might be what we have
who's the real father?
Let's forget about that one. Let's hope they redeem the Mandarin with this movie. It's a shame though that you'll never see him with Iron Man because in the 70s that was his main villain. So
you know what? They got to bring him back to life. They got to bring him back.
They'll figure it out.
Robert Downey Jr. is still out there. Come on. He is Iron Man. I don't care. He can be 95 years old in a walker, in a wheelchair. He's all like, come on, Rhodey. Hook me up. Plug me in. Let's go do this thing. That's what the armor's for, right? He doesn't have to be strong. And Jarvis can do everything for him. He's going to be like, just shoot him, Jarvis. Right? It can happen. I mean, his brain still works. Dang. I don't know. If they brought back the Vision, why can't they bring back Iron Man?
It's a good point.
I'm just saying. I mean, they retcon anything they want to. Retcon that. It was great because they got to bring back Black Widow too.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to. They just, I don't know. I don't know. They got to. All right. Anthony, your turn. What are you looking forward to? What's on your hot list?
So now that the Snyder Cut is released, because that was my number one. I want to give him props. Is Spider-Man. I'm really excited about this because of the reunion of they're bringing back the former Spider-Mens.
All of yeah, it's like the 2 last ones, right?
Yeah, I think they're going to connect it all together, do kind of a multiverse, Spider-Verse type thing. So I'm pretty excited for that one.
That would be cool. Right on. Yeah, I'd heard that they were going to bring him back, but I haven't seen any photos or anything yet. Not that I've been looking it up, but that will be cool. I don't know. I was not a huge fan of Far From Home. I don't know. It wasn't my. I know. Sorry. Just it was okay.
It was all right. It was all right.
I mean, it's like a 3 out of 5 or 2 or something. But,
I usually don't like Jake Gyllenhaal, but I thought he was a great Mysterio. He was charismatic, and he did a good job on there. He changed my mind on it. So, but I understand.
If they would give Zendara some superpowers, then I'm in 100% because I think she's awesome. I mean, she's a wonderful actress.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they should make her Black Widow. I mean, she's just freaking amazing.
Don't get Anthony started on Black Widow, man.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But James, what you got coming?
So if you haven't listened to that episode of our show, I tried to pick movies that weren't Marvel movies and blockbuster movies, and Anthony just clowned on me the whole time. It was probably one of the only times in my life that I legitimately felt bullied. I'm not a very small guy, so I'm not nice, intimidated Anthony. Easily.
It's not
Anthony
nice.
Was a bully that day, so much that he felt like he needed to text me and be like, "Yo, bro, like, you know." And I was like, "It's good, man. It's good."
That's bad. After the show, he's all like, "Man, I'm so sorry for what."
Yeah, he was like,
"I did.
I really didn't mean it." And then, in the words of Anthony, I just text him back, "You changed." So,
what happened, man?
So,
before we continue on, I just want to share this with you, Jiles. Like I said, James and Anthony are some of the more critical ones on the show. They like to have fun, they like to play, but they can. We can push limits sometimes, when it comes to our humor and that kind of thing. But it's all in fun. We have a good time. It's all in love. But one day, the three of us were playing a video game together. We were co-oping a game and just having a great time playing the games we were playing. And we got to another game that I actually loved. And they started playing around with me and joking with me and making fun of it. And they were just kind of killing the fun for me. So what I had to do, Jiles, I had to get them back. And I had to create something that I thought kind of encaptured what they were doing and it was a tribute to these two guys on the show. So
it's bad when this happens.
James, Anthony.
When I get thirsty and I just want to hate on something somebody loves, I reach for a nice cold brew James Anthony Haterade. It's all the electrolytes you need to hoo-hoo all over it. James Anthony Haterade.
I love it.
Rage quit.
Right.
You just have to own it. I mean, until you've cried together, you're not really brothers anyway. So
thank you.
This is one of those things where I'm in my 30s, and the time I went to school, like bullying was a thing, and we didn't really get in trouble for it. And I ain't never had nobody diss me on a diss track before. So this brought me back to 2000, 2002. Somebody actually took time and made a diss track. I feel so privileged to have a diss track.
All in love. These are my brothers. We have a good time. We take shots at one another, but we like to have a good time, and that's what the fun waste of time is all about.
That's amazing. But I just got to understand. You've been dropping hints. You're like, okay, it's not going to be Marvel. It's not going to be the blockbuster. What is it, man? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Actually, mine is a blockbuster this time around. I changed my list up a little bit for the show. So I watched a lot of trailers today, and the list was extensive because Taurus is the man at giving you enough information to make educated speaking points. So actually, mine's Top Gun Maverick.
What I'm talking about.
I only have one thing to say about Top Gun Maverick. Is everybody going to be sweaty in this movie? You know what I'm talking about? You remember the first Top Gun?
Yeah.
Everybody was just wet, streaming down sweat the whole movie.
It looks like there is another volleyball scene from what I had seen in the trailer. So we'll see.
Jason clocking the volleyball scene.
Hey, don't get me wrong, man. I'm cool with it, but still. A lot of sweat in that scene.
A little Tom Cruise.
That's right.
I don't know about all that. I don't know about all the noises you just made. I don't know what,
Tom Cruise? I got something for him. I was just saying.
How about Tom Cruise being 60 years old and still a captain in the movie?
Right.
So,
okay, well, there's that, right?
So I don't know if you guys saw this, but they have like a little short out. It's about 2 minutes on YouTube. It's called Top Gun
That's
Maverick.
not a Tom Cruise joke.
It's called Top Gun Maverick, Real Flying, Real G-Forces. And basically, it shows, how they use like 8 different cameras, IMAX cameras, to film the cockpit and how they use the actors in the cockpit. And did you guys know that Tom Cruise is a licensed aerobatic pilot?
Really? No, I did not.
Did not know that. No.
Yeah.
I didn't either, and I thought it was super dope. He actually made the training course that the pilots had to go through to fly in the movie. And then like they were talking about how some of them got sick because they'd never done the 0G moves before. And the cool thing about the video, it's only about 2 minutes long, is that they show the actual actors flying in the planes and like getting sick kind of, and I thought that was a really cool touch. So I'm all in on that because we know no dollar was spared to make the movie. So Maverick, Top Gun is my choice.
That's cool. Yeah, he's gonna have 2 big ones this year. He's got Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, and then what is it, Mission Impossible 32 or something?
32.
Yeah, 32, 33. Sounds about right.
I'm still all in for those 2. Whatever, bring it. This is for me the golden age of movies. I mean, everything when the Marvel Cinematic Universe started, right, and from there moving forward, it's just gotten better and better. And I hate that we had to lose last year, but
Right.
I mean, if you look back to the movies we had when we were kids, there's nostalgia and they were good and great, but you can't, technically for the spectacle and the visuals and the sound and everything, you can make these stories. It's like you were saying before, Taurus, you can make these stories come to life. They won't be perfect necessarily, but if you want to have a alien Godzilla fight with a 1-inch pixie girl that casts magic balls of flame inside of the mouth of hell or something, you could do it, right? And it could be pretty convincing. Be like, dang, how'd they get there? So this is for me this is a golden age.
It is. And one thing I do want to say regarding that too, Jiles, is I used to say on the podcast all the time, my favorite time of the year is not necessarily Christmas or Thanksgiving. It's summer blockbuster movie, spring and summer.
Yeah.
Because that's where we get all of the greatest movies. Being a film fan, that's the time where you're getting a lot of these high dollar, big budget blockbusters that are coming out. And, to live in the age that we're living in, we are truly blessed to be experiencing the level of quality that we're getting in a lot of these movies these days, and even TV shows. TV is actually caught up to movies in a lot of ways.
Oh, TV is amazing. There are plenty of TV shows that I'd watch over lots of movies, every day of the week.
Yeah.
And there's so much TV. Now I'm going to do an episode on TV down the line. And if I can get you guys to come back to talk about that, that would be freaking awesome. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I wanted to try and do TV in this episode too, but it's too much. You just can't, right? I've got like a list of 30 television shows that I want to watch, and they're not out yet. I probably have a list of 40 that have been out and finished years ago that I haven't gotten to yet either. But you're right. Television today, look at WandaVision, look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those are great. You could take that and put it on the big screen.
Yeah.
And you would be happy.
Right.
It'd be cool. All right, but we're moving along because I've been waiting for Jason's call. I've been thinking in my head, what is this going to be? And I'm like, is it going to be Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
And then I was like, nope, got to be Gucci. This is coming up in, I think, November. Gucci. That's my bet. So did I get it right or did I get it
Not
wrong?
quite, man. I was close to James's though, because Top Gun Maverick is probably my second. And I hope this wasn't yours, Jiles, but because it's coming up so soon, I am getting really excited for Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that is not mine.
Okay,
but that's
good.
number 3 for me.
Okay, and I know some of the people watching wanted us to talk about that a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you right now, man, the original movie I went to see on opening day, summer of '95. It was between 10th and 11th grade for me. I'm aging myself here. Taurus, don't laugh, man. It's not funny.
What girl you take?
Oh, shoot. I went with my little brother.
Him and his boys.
I will say though, and the thing is, it was one of those movies that you go in knowing it's going to be kind of dumb. Yeah. And there were a lot of times because I was a huge fan of the games. ever since I was 12 years old. And I went in thinking there's no way they're going to do those games justice. And I was right. But the thing is, as much as I laughed at some of the stuff in the movie, let me just tell you, there was the one part where Scorpion and Sub-Zero come out of this door in slow motion, and they've got this guitar riff playing. And, you know, it was a pretty packed theater. It was opening day. And I remember everybody in that theater just starting to cheer. And I couldn't help it, man. I had to jump in. I was like, yeah, Scorpion Sub-Zero. So, man, I was so excited about that. So, having seen the newer trailer, it looks like they're going to be taking the movie a little bit more seriously, which is cool. I'm still down for some dumb action. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure all of you guys have played the games and you're pretty familiar with a lot of the characters. Just watching that last trailer that came out, I mean, that one shot where Sub-Zero, hits Scorpion and then freezes his blood and then stabs him with his own blood. Come on, man. There's no way you can see that and say, no, I'm not going to watch this movie. Hell yeah, I'm going to watch this movie and I'm going to love it. And not only that, but my wife actually said she was kind of excited about it. So, hey, any dumb action I can watch with my wife, I'm down for that.
I hear you. So this is what I'm hoping for. There's one experience that I want to have in this movie, the Mortal Kombat movie.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't happen, I will be absolutely devastated. But I want there to be a scene.
Yeah.
And I don't really care what the scene is, but maybe some battle thing, maybe they're walking slow-mo toward each other. But I want to hear that iconic Mortal Kombat music, that dun 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 dun.
Oh,
dun.
yeah.
And I want that dude to say Mortal Kombat. And when that happens, man, I'm gonna be up on my feet, dancing and screaming. I don't care where I'm at, but that's the experience that I want. I want to hear that Mortal Kombat.
Jiles, sadly, I have that soundtrack. I bought that in the summer. Actually, check this out, man. Let me just pull this down off my wall real quick. Hold up.
Dude, I mean just that soundbite.
Jason's not telling what Jason's not telling you is that's actually his anniversary song.
That's right, man.
I got married.
I have the actual the CD. This is the soundtrack from the arcade game, and there was a screen on Mortal Kombat 2, the arcade game, where you could send away for this CD of music from the game.
Awesome.
I have it. I love it. It's on my wall in a frame. I know I'm pathetic, but yeah. So Mortal Kombat.
I'm so jealous. You just don't know. I mean, I don't tell me where you live over there, because I've been known to jack somebody for something like that. I'm just saying. That's cool. I mean,
careful. He looks like Brock Lesnar now.
That's right.
Yeah, man. I always wanted to know, can I play Zangief? I guess.
Oh, yeah.
A different game, but
change the channel quick.
Okay, so now we're here to me and mine, and I think I am going to be way out there because none of these were mine, but there is one, and it harkens back to my childhood. Because if you look behind me, I first got started not with movies, but with books. So that's all paper back there, right?
Nice.
That's I'm sure it's a flammable hazard. I don't know, but there is one movie coming out based on a book that I am hoping with all my heart that they get right. Can anybody guess it? Based on a book written by Frank Herbert, set in space in the future.
Dune.
The
Serious?
spice
Really?
must flow. Dude, I want to see the Kwisatz Haderach get up there and get down and just mess up some sandworms and do some crazy Oh, I'm so excited. I want to see those sisters and put the hand in the box and the pain in the head and say, fear is the mind killer. Let it pass through you. I'm like, oh, God. I mean, there's so much mythology around this. And I've read I don't know, down there, there's like a whole shelf. It's nothing but Dune. It's like 30 books.
Nice.
And it's just,
wow.
I can't wait. And I am so excited for that movie. And I think Mad Prana had called it out a little bit earlier in the night that he was interested in seeing, what Muad'Dib does when he turns into the Kwisatz Haderach. And they got all these cool words and all this stuff. And then they have these people that turned into these worms that fly spaceships and they teleport and you eat the spice and your eyes turn blue and you live forever. Oh, God. They have the Mentats, which are human calculators. And oh gosh, people with diamonds on their foreheads and their doctors. I mean, how could you just not love that movie? It's
got an amazing cast too.
Mm-hmm.
It has an amazing cast.
Mm-hmm. You know who's in there?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oscar Isaacs, Zendaya.
Yes.
I knew it. I should have known.
That's right.
Only the geek would start off with Jason Momoa over Zendaya.
Jason Momoa's in there. Oh God.
Well, I do want to ask you this, Giles. The director of the movie, Denis Villeneuve.
Yes.
You liked any of his previous movies? How do you feel about his directing?
I think he was a absolutely stunning pick for this movie. The reason being is, I think his vision will be closer to what could have been and I'm going to get this name wrong, the Jodorowsky version of Dune that had started and then failed some number of years ago. So I think he is going to be closer to that style of movie than other directors might have been. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about with and I know I'm messing up the name, Jodorowsky. So he had, gotten very far down the road on the stylistic design for a reboot and remake of Dune, and the conceptual art that he put together is unlike anything I've ever seen for a movie before. It is absolutely stunning. So I would strongly recommend. There's a documentary about that out there, and go check that out. And it just breaks my heart to see what could have been, because that would have been. I'm confident that would have been my favorite movie of my entire life if that had been made. I feel confident to say that would have been the tops of everything. I can't imagine anything topping the vision that I see in that film. I mean, they would have just have to execute it on it horribly. But you also have to, frame that from the point of view that I have a lot of nostalgia around the characters, around the story, because, I grew up reading this stuff, right? And I've spent just hours reading and thinking about it and rereading and thinking about the stories. And so for me, I mean, it's like, if you got a button, this one, it's just like, all right.
I'll tell you what, when the movie comes out, I think it comes out October the 1st, and it's going to be an HBO Max release as well.
Absolutely. That's why I have HBO Max.
Cool. But we'd love to get you on the Fun Waste of Time to come talk to us and share your feelings about it. Anytime you say, "Hey, Giles, are you?" Yes.
Can you? Whenever you just say it. So I'm down. I'm down. Yeah, and I'll love.
I have Dune. Oh man, if these were alphabetized, I'd pull it out for you. But I have Dune on Laserdisc down here somewhere. I have about 450 Laserdiscs.
You just won the internet for today, by the way, when you said
really?
Laserdisc. Yeah, I want to get it on Laserdisc. I don't have a player or anything, but I want it just to.
You know what, man? If I can find it, I'll send it out to you.
Oh, I would
sure.
I put it on my wall, and I'll put a picture of you on there, and then I'll get like a little medallion with your picture on it, and I'll just wear it when I do live streams.
Giles, it's yours, brother. Seriously,
you just don't know that means a lot. I might cry.
I didn't know that 240p was your favorite resolution, Giles.
All you need are 4 letters for Dune. Yes. 240p has 4 in it. It's perfect.
Right.
That's all it takes. That's all. No, that. I mean, and dude, I love that cut of the movie. I know people hate it and they bag on it all the time, but I grew up and I can hear that lady's voice in my head when she's talking. You know what I'm talking about? You guys are like, "What? I never saw Dune. I don't know what this is about." You gotta watch it because they're creepy. Right? I mean, in that movie, they created stuff that's not in the books, right? So they strayed away from the story a lot. Like when the weirding way is a fighting style, that's kind of like saying karate or taekwondo, but they turned it into some kind of like voice box modulator laser gun thing. And that's not how it is in the books, right? But it was still cool. And the movie's got Sting in it when Sting was all like ripped stuff, and then Baron Harkonnen, he's all he's got the big pus things on his face. I mean,
right.
Okay, I have to stop because I'll just keep going. but no, I appreciate that, Jason.
No problem, man.
Okay, now let me get my composure back because this happens when I talk about Dune. There were a couple of things folks wanted us to talk about, and one of them was Black Widow. And I am concerned about Black Widow. And I will get to my concerns, but I do want to do a roundtable, and this might be the last roundtable we do before we call it a night tonight, because we're pushing our time right now. But Anthony, let's kick it off with you. Do you have any thoughts at this point, just from potentially seeing trailers or what you've heard about for Black Widow? How do you feel about that?
So I'm excited more than I thought it would be, because she wasn't one of my the reason Tars kept bringing it up was because she wasn't previously one of my favorite characters, but they've assembled a pretty good cast in there, and the trailer looks good. They brought in one of my favorite villains, which is Taskmaster. Mm-hmm. They made him look like a Power Ranger a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, they didn't do him justice to the comic book version of him, but I'm excited. I have the reason I shook my head when you said something about Black Widow was I don't think that they're going to retcon her. If anything, maybe her sister picks up the name,
her mantle,
and takes it on the mantle. But I'm excited, man. I think it looks good. Better than I thought it was. I give them credit. So we'll see what they can do with it.
Cool. Tars, what about you?
You know what I'm excited about more than anything else is now I don't have to wait to see this at home. Because originally it was only going to get a theatrical release from Disney, and Disney changed their mind on July 9th. They're actually going to be releasing it in the theater as well as on Disney's new service they're calling Premier Access, where you pay $30 for basically their theatrical movies.
Money well spent.
I'm telling you. But I am absolutely looking forward to watching this in my home. I appreciate them doing that. And I was excited about the movie from the get-go. I think that Black Widow is kind of a underappreciated character. I think the discussion that we typically have is, does she actually belong with the Avengers with all of them having superpowers pretty much?
Right.
And she doesn't. But, she definitely holds her own. I thought it was about time that we actually got if not an origin story, at least a story in her world. And it's really cool to see that they're actually spending time on this. But I love the family dynamic. That it looks as if there's going to be quite a bit of that going on in the movie with her and her family and some of the issues they had. So I think it's going to be a fun movie. I'm really looking forward to it. And like I said, I'm even more excited about the fact that I get to watch this in my home, pay my $30, get my popcorn machine going, and break down 5,000 calories of popcorn that night.
All right, Tars. Look, you don't have to tell us you got a home theater. Okay, we already know.
This is
that's the next thing coming out of his mouth.
This is a home theater show. Home theater fanatics, baby. Let's do it.
It's true. It is. I am fanatical about it, and the Fanatics crew, they love them some home theater. I'm saying, James,
I'm excited for Scarlett Johansson.
I was going to say, the one thing that would make this movie better for me is if they remove Scarlett Johansson and put Zendaya in. I'm just saying.
I hope we get a white suit. I'd like a white leather suit. I'd like a white leather suit. That'd be cool.
It's on the poster, I think.
I'm not paying no $30 for it though. Disney, they're already getting $14.99, or actually it's got a price increase. I'm not paying that money. I'll borrow Taurus's login after he's done. The fun waste of time, log in.
I got you.
But it looks good. I am concerned about the release date moving. It makes me wonder if it's not that good or not good enough.
Oh, so they're gonna
seems like they
it then,
so
right?
so like they kind of maybe are shuffling it to lessen or dampen maybe the critique on it. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but not for $30.
Right on. All right, Jason. Last but not least,
I will pay the $30, and I always feel like every time we go into a new year, I feel like I'm burned out on Marvel movies. I can't do another one. I'm not doing it, but I'm more excited about this one than I thought I would be. And they tend to surprise me a lot of times. I mean, back in 2015, I was so sure that there was no way I could enjoy Ant-Man, but
right.
I ended up really liking it. And so I'm gonna give this one a shot. Like I said, I'm not quite as cheap as James. I'm gonna go ahead and shell out the money for it. My daughter loves Black Widow, so
frugal.
I'm gonna go ahead and get that when it comes out. I do like the and check it out, man. I don't have any kind of theater set up like you or Taurus have. But you know, just my 75-inch TV with my sound bar, I think I'll still enjoy it quite a bit, man. So,
oh, I know you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
So here's my thought on the movie, and this is the only thing that I'm concerned about. I hope that they don't Wonder Woman 84 it too much.
Oh yeah,
that because I did not like that movie, and it was just because of the humor. Right. And they just made it too slapstickish. Right. If as long as they don't Wonder Woman 84 comedy-ize this thing, then I think I'm going to be down. You know, some of the earlier trailers, I watched them and it felt like they tried to cut it to make it more comedic. I don't know. Or it came off, at least in my mind, that way, that it was a lot of bad humor. But if they can keep it mostly on the serious side with the right amount of spicy humor in there, then I'll be good. But you know, the whole I still fit in the suit. Come on! I'm so fat now and old, but look, I can still. I worry about that a little bit. That's the only thing. But you know. I can do all the characters. I mean that's exactly the way he said it. And I think if anybody was watching this, they'd be all like, "Why are they rolling the clip of the trailer?" They would confuse it. He's all like, "I escaped from Stranger Things. I'm Russian." You know, you thought I was dead, but I'm not dead there either. Oh, dang! Another spoiler. All right, gentlemen. This is time for the time where in the show I move to what I call the cleanup, and this is where I talk about all the stuff that I talk about to get everybody ready for the next episode. And the first thing that everybody has to do to get ready for the next episode is, one, go and open up Google, type in the Fun Waste of Time podcast, go to wherever you can download that and subscribe to that, and then make sure that you're notified every time a new episode of that hits, so that you can listen to these guys. And you know, Taurus has got like multiple crews of folks for different stuff, and it is always something outstanding and fantastic. I mean, his best episodes were, you know, the ones around Kaleidoscape and stuff like that. Right,
home theater episodes Jiles was on, basically.
Of course.
$1 million. Yeah, those are really, really good. Get in my belly. I don't know why I'm saying this stuff. I don't know. It's lack of sleep. But that's the first thing you got to do. The second thing you got to do is, if you're watching this, you're probably watching it on YouTube. And if you're watching it on YouTube and you still have a unlit subscribe button, or I guess lit, that needs to be clicked and turned off, you should click it right now, because that's how Daddy gets paid. Do it for me and the children.
Kids got to
feed the kids.
It's what your grandma would do. Do it for your grandma, because she, you know, she's out there right now saying, "Why haven't you subscribed yet? You know, these young fellas are working hard for you." Right? Okay. All right. Now that that's done, that's, you know, I don't know. That's like not being shy about asking for things. Next week's, or I guess this week's video is going to be a DIY touch screen rune bridge that I call the touch stream. It's pretty cool, right? The touch stream. Wow. And if I just spoke a lot of Greek and you don't know exactly what I'm talking about at all, that means you should watch the episode, so that you can take a Raspberry Pi and build a rune bridge that lets you listen to music on any rune ready device in your home. And it's baller. It's for 2 channels.
Wait a second, Jiles. Did you say Rune or Microsoft Zoom?
Rune, oh, no.
ROON.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm just making sure.
If you're into music and 2-channel stuff, this is the way to go. I mean, for me, Rune plus Qobuz equals lots of musical happiness. I mean, that's how I listen to music. It, you know, for you, Taurus, it would be kind of like it'd kind of be like the Kaleidoscape of 2-channel services. Right? You know, you can get all your good music at the highest quality, and you can pretty much get anything you want for a low price. Of course, I don't think there's a low price at all associated with Kaleidoscape. but you,
I was thinking,
Ain't that the
yeah,
truth?
you know how that is. That's true. But that's upcoming a video that we'll be dropping this week. I'll be working on a project this week where I install 612s in the front of my theater, just for giggles and grins, because I don't need any more bass, but there are 612s going in.
And just so that the non-home theater guys on the podcast today know what 12s are, could you explain what 12s you're talking about?
Yeah, so there are speakers that you use to reproduce bass, and you can buy them in different sizes. Typically, the smallest driver that you would consider a subwoofer, and sub means low, meaning it's playing the sounds that are very, very deep. A woofer plays the lower frequencies, and this is all the explosion sound effects and all the stuff that makes your sofa dance around. And the smallest one is about 8 inches, so about like this. And so this would be a it's like a pizza size speaker, right? So I have they're called sub 36s from Stark Sound, and they've got 2 active 12-inch drivers with a 12-inch passive radiator in each box, and I got 3 of those, and I'm going to be adding those in the front of my theater just to give some front sound stage to the bass. And, people are like, "Well, bass is omnidirectional." Whatever. I still like to have bass all around me, just to envelop me and cuddle me and hold me in the explosion. I don't want to be like, "Why is it coming from there?" I want the bass all around.
Giles, I'm real upset with Taurus that he acting like we don't know what a 12-inch subwoofer is.
I was going to question that, but I didn't want to call that out just in case.
Come on, man.
I got to look out for my fellas. I got to look out for the fellas. They always
know what a
brag on me
12-inch
about talking home theater on the show. So, I got to make sure they know. That's all.
And I'm gonna just sit here and nod like I know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, subwoofer, yeah. So
Jason, you know what a subwoofer is. You throw them in your trunk and it rattles real loud. That's a subwoofer, my man.
Oh, those things.
This is.
I always call them boom booms. Okay, gotcha,
just for
man.
the house. That's all it is. It's for the house.
Jason had plenty in that
your
car he used to drive back in the early 2000s.
Oh, with the spoiler. That's right. Oh man, my '93 Dodge
Intrepid
always
would rattle.
Oh yeah, it rattled. Yep.
Come on, man.
You don't hear the bass. All you hear is the bzz,
That's right.
He's coming.
I don't want to hear any lyrics. I just want to hear vibration. That's it.
I still kind of like that myself. I mean, I got enough bass in my car where I can make it rattle more than it ought to.
Right.
And they're all like, "Isn't that dude almost 50?" And all the young kids are all like, "Oh." But so that's what I'll be working on. And for all of you home theater folks and you other folks that are into YouTube channels and watch that kind of stuff, there's a dude that puts a camera on his head. Zeos is his name. He runs Z Reviews, and he's got a humongous channel, but he does mostly headphones and bookshelf speakers and that kind of stuff. But I think that point of view is really good for DIY kind of stuff. So I'm going to try that out. I'm going to get a GoPro and put it up here. And then as I'm doing stuff, you're going to be able to see me. I'm like, okay, this is how you install a subwoofer. This is an RCA cable. You're going to plug it in. So I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. But that'll be a project that I'm working on. So 6 active 12s added to the 3 active 18s. And that should give me a lot of fun time action. Next week, we're going to have Aperion Audio on the show. And they're going to be talking about their new badass tower speakers that are, I think, 888s. Which is pretty dang cool. And I love Aperion Audio. That's like one of the best brands that you've never heard of. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you catch the show. And now this is the point where I thank you guys for coming on the show. I am humbled to have you on. I know everybody's time is valuable. And for you 5, or you 4 rather, all 5 of us to take an hour out of your evening to come and spend it with me and the audience, I just can't tell you how grateful I am. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate every one of you. And then for all the folks that are watching the show, I appreciate you guys just as much. Hopefully this has been entertaining for you and you've enjoyed it, because I know I've enjoyed it. I mean, this is awesome. So guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It was a great time, Giles.
Right on. And with that, we're 10 minutes over. So we're going to close it out. And, as I always say, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Y'all take care now.
I love it.